Today we discuss sustainability in the lower Ninth Ward of New Orleans, where Make It Right, a non-governmental organization created and operated by Brad Pitt, rebuilds what once was a highly populated neighborhood in New Orleans. Not only does it rebuild what once was, it also substantially improves the pre-Katrina standards in order to make houses sustainable and resistant to future storms. Katrina ruined an initially poor neighborhood of New Orleans. After the storm hit, most citizens left the city for good because their homes had vanished and they had nothing to return to. A whole quarter, as well as a community, was destroyed. The lower Ninth Ward was hit especially hard because of it being so far below sea level. When the levees in Mississippi broke because of the storm, a chain reaction occurred where everything was flooded and blown away simultaneously, which produced devastating costs of thousands of lives and homes. Walking through the neighborhood today, one can still see the foundations and entrances to what were once houses. One can even still see some of what the storm left behind in the area. Today, the neighborhood is inhabited by a high percentage of pre-Katrina citizens, but the amount of people living there is not even close to what it used to be. The Make It Right Foundation brings sustainability to the neighborhood of the lower Ninth Ward through house construction that uses the newest technology within the area of sustainability. The materials, the design, and the equipment in the houses may change for each potential build. So far, the organization has built approximately 90 out of the initially stated 150 new homes in the lower Ninth Ward area. The mission statement in 2007 was to build safe, cradle-to-cradle inspired homes for people in need. Cradle to Cradle is a principle of sustainability which strives to make production and consumption harmonize with the environment and create only a positive impact on communities in general. This also includes zero use of fossil fuel energy sources and a focus on recyclability. This principle coincides with the theory of ecological modernization in that it has the goal of superindustrialization. Ecological modernization theory looks at our capitalistic system as it is today and states that historic events show that the market adapts to challenges by increasing production, improving technology, and changing processes that have shown to be unprofitable. The theory states that the power of supply and demand will change society as it is today to the point where we reach a superindustrialization, which implies a 100% sustainability of natural resources. Cradle to Cradle takes the theory further and includes the health of the communities on top of the goal of sustainability. Make It Right wants its projects to be an inspiration to the rest of the world because the workers believe in vision where everyone lives healthy and sustainable lives affordable for everyone. One main issue for Make It Right has been maintaining affordability. The goal is to keep every house costing maximum of $150,000, and if this is exceeded, the Make It Right Foundation will finance the balance. Its visions of design, sustainability, and affordability have shown to conflict, and since the foundation was founded to protect vulnerable communities, the affordability has been prioritized. Choosing the road of innovation and the newest technology involves a lot of risk, though. Make It Right has faced several obstacles in its processes and has made mistakes by trusting in untested technologies. Since a celebrity like Brad Pitt is the founder of the organization, mistakes get a lot of attention. As late as January 2014, the media spoke about how rotting wood was used for a number of houses in the lower Ninth Ward. Issues like these have forced the organization to take strong precaution when speaking to the public and cause students and other interested people difficulty in getting in contact with the organization due to confidentiality policies. A resident of New Orleans' lower Ninth Ward that lived there before, during, and after Katrina is Robert Green. He has a strong beating heart for his city and is very pleased with Make It Right's actions. One of the things that Robert values highly is the attention brought to the community of the lower Ninth Ward. It is a great opportunity to make invisible people visible in politics and decision-making. Without the attention from both media and the tourists, the renovations wouldn't have been nearly as effective. Robert is not only pleased with the fact that Make It Right has provided him with a new house, but he also commends the sustainability of his new home.
So I was ready to build, and then I see these two guys coming up. They tell us about Brad Pitt. They weren't supposed to say that, but when they did, then I felt a lot about him. because I saw him a lot in movies, stuff like that. Never saw him in person, but I felt a lot about him and said, well, maybe this would be something that's good. And what I became Moses to my neighbors. My neighbors still think of me as Moses. They come to me for answers. They come to me for everything. If the heater don't work, they call me. If the pipes freeze, they call me. If they get a letter. But the point I'm saying is I realized that it would be good. So what I used to do at all the meetings when they would be trying to convince people, I'd stand up at the very beginning, I'm signing up now. Give me the paper and walk up there, give them my paper signed. Every time they asked people, were you ready, I would stand up at the meeting, and 60 of the people that are in these houses are people who lived here before and people who follow me in the sense of believing that what I was going to do was going to be good for us. And it actually is good for us because no one has built the number of houses in this neighborhood that they have. And I've worked with all the organizations. I've worked with a lot of the city programs, Office of Neighborhood Engagement, the mayor's office, to the point of I understand that this is happening, and it's happening because of what he started, but it's also snowballing to a bigger thing. My mother's house used to cost during the summer months to cool it $300 a month to cool it because we had so much escaping. Here, my light bill is only $35, but you have to understand gas and electric are tied together. So my energy production outweighs my energy use. So my light bill is $35. Leslie has a house, I might have 1,700 square feet. I think she might have 2,200 square feet. Her bill is $31. Ms. Fletcher up the street doesn't have a bill. So basically we in more energy efficient houses. These houses are all recyclable. So the idea is we're in much better houses than we were before. And if we reduce the carbon footprint, and if we can get away from fossil fuels, and we can reduce emissions, then what happens is the world that y'all live in is a much better place. Not saying that I'm going to die tomorrow, but I'm at the top of my hill and now I'm going down the other side. So I've enjoyed that freedom. I want my grandkids, my great-grandkids to have the same freedom. So these houses, this neighborhood, this idea gives us that chance to make a difference. So we're going to have to share.
Make It Right has clearly contributed to and improved the rebuilding of the lower Ninth Ward, and even though it runs into challenges, it continues to progress, albeit slowly. But one important factor that has to be included in the discussion is that the community's overall livelihood is not that of which it was before the storm. Make It Right does make a difference for the people, but only within the material subject of housing. One of the locals that moved to the lower Ninth Ward after the storm's demise explains how she had been frustrated because of the absence of grocery stores, the awful roads in the neighborhood that still have not been fixed satisfactorily, the lack of streetlights, and the lack of general preservation of the area, all of which can be dangerous. Make It Right has respectable intentions and has been a huge help in the rebuilding of the ward, but there are still many problems to be solved. Katrina was almost 10 years ago, but the lower Ninth Ward is still to some extent considered a food desert. People of these poor areas often do not have vehicles to get them to grocery stores. Therefore, the neighborhood still wishes for improvements that will transform the community and make the everyday living standards higher for everyone. A weakness of the theory of ecological modernization is present in the remodeling of the neighborhood. It relies on supply and demand, and the lower Ninth Ward wouldn't have been rebuilt without the help of the organization's actions, since there is no economic surplus invested in the area. And there still isn't because the amount of people living there now is significantly lower than pre-Katrina, which means the demand is proportionately lower. The incentive for businesses to invest in necessary facilities like grocery stores is simply not there. Correspondingly, this ruins the incentive for new people to move to the area. Rumors say that a Walmart is on its way to the area, and the future will show what difference that is going to make for the community. Conclusively, Make It Right has done a tremendous job for the people of the lower Ninth Ward, regardless of the continuous lack of action to improve the environmental surroundings in the area. It has chosen a focus for its organization, and in turn cannot include all aspects of the lives of the people in the community. Sustainability is all-encompassing, and Make It Right is making sure that housing isn't an issue. By promotion through media outlets that receive a lot of attention, it has limited the impact of environmental injustice because people in the area, at least to some extent, actually get heard.
it be?